Hey guys, Grace here. I am going to bring you through a 20-minute Pilates class. We are going to focus mostly on core, and then I'll throw in a few fundamental Pilates movements as well along the way. So with Pilates, you've got the movement, you've got the technique, and then you've got the breathing. So with any of these exercises, if you haven't done them before, focus on the movement. Then you want to start thinking about the technique, so what muscles you should be engaging, and then you can add in the breathing. If the breathing doesn't come naturally or you're getting confused, don't worry about it. Just breathe is the most important thing. Okay, so we're going to start on our backs. Nice relaxed position, knees bent, feet hip distance apart. Relax your shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to start with our pelvic tilts. So this is great for loosening up the lower back. You can put your hands on your hips, and what you're going to do is roll your pelvis forward and then roll it back. So when you're rolling your pelvis forward, you're lifting your spine up off the mat. And then when you're rolling it back, you're imprinting your spine on the mat. So inhale as you roll forward and exhale as you roll back, or whatever breathing pattern suits. So when you're doing this, just make sure your knees don't move too much. Okay, so progressing on from this, hands down by your side, take a nice deep breath, inhale, and you're going to scoop your hips up off the mat and peel your spine up off the mat all the way to your shoulders, or whatever point is comfortable for you. And then you're exhaling, deflating, slowly rolling your spine one vertebrae at a time back down onto the mat. So the first few of these, just kind of go where it's comfortable and feel out the exercise, and then you can start adding in the technique and really focusing on what should be happening. So you want to lift those hips up, squeeze the glutes. You really want to switch on the glutes for this one. And then slow and control back down. So as you're lifting up, watch that your rib cage doesn't flare up. So you want to try keep a straight spine. You don't want that arch in your back. So if your rib cage kind of flares up a little bit, try just pull it down. Really push up through your hips, but pull that rib cage down. Okay, great. Roll out that back. And when you're ready, we're going to go legs to tabletop. So tabletop is about knees over your hips, not too close to you, and then not too far away. So if they're too close, your core won't be switched on. If they're too far away, your back will be popping up off the mat. So all the time you want to make sure that your back is nice and comfy on the mat. So roughly about knees over hips, and legs in a 90-degree angle. Okay, when you're ready, nice deep breath. Squeeze into your tummy, so switch on your core. And then you're going to exhale and lower down with one leg. Inhale back up, and then change sides. Exhale down, inhale up. Now this is the modified version. So if this is all right for you and you feel you can push it up a little bit, what you can do is go out with a straight leg. So extending out, your abs are acting as a lever. Exhale as you reach out. Inhale as you come back in. So if you're getting confused between doing the movement and the breathing, don't worry. Just breathe. So squeezing through your tummy as you're sending that leg away. And all the time making sure that your back isn't pulling up off the mat. Your back is nice and secure and happy on the mat. Relaxing through your shoulders. Switching on the core, making sure your back's not popping up. And at any stage, if you need to stop and reset your position, just do that. Great. Okay, so let's go for a little bit of flexion. So feet down, you're going to go hands over the head. And what you're going to do is lift up to engage, and then I want you to lift up a little bit more to really switch on and get into the abs. So lifting up and then up again. So lift your head and your neck, and then see if you can lift up with your shoulders a little bit more. So don't don't worry if you can't, just reaching up as much as you can. And then what you want to try do is really push down the rib cage. Switch on and engage the upper abs. So inhale and then exhale as you lower down. Okay, great. So we're going to bring both of those exercises together. So a little bit of flexion and then back to our leg lowers. So as you lower down the legs, you can either lie back or lift up. So exhaling as you reach the legs out. And at any stage of your neck becomes a little bit stiff or a little bit tight, just relax the head down. Don't worry about coming into flexion. Hug the knees in, a little rock and roll. And then we'll do a thoracic twist. So hands out like a T, knees to the right, head and neck to the left. Nice deep breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, change sides. So we're just getting that twist. And we'll forget to do the other side. Okay, so knees, we'll go legs back up to tabletop. This time you're going to push your legs away. So both legs pushing away. Now, the lower you go with this, the harder it's going to be. So maybe you want to modify it a little bit. Maybe you want to go up a little bit higher with your legs. You don't have to go straight out. So the most important thing here is that your back is nice and happy on the mat. It's not pulling up and you can really squeeze in your tummy. So as you're pushing away, think about pushing something away or someone away. So in order to do that, you really have to squeeze through your tummy and then push. So you can inhale as you come back in, exhale as you push away. Okay, let's add in a little bit of flexion to this. So lifting the head and the neck and maybe the shoulders as you push away. Again, this is too much. Don't worry about the flexion. Just work away with the legs. Lifting up, and think about now when you're lifting up, you're dropping down the rib cage. Pushing the legs away, scooping down the abs, and a little hold burner at the end. 3, 2, and 1. Relax, hug the legs in. Good. A little rock and roll. Okay, that's enough with the tum-tum. So roll around, lying on your tummy, hands shoulder distance apart, bring them in front of you, and we'll just do a few cobras. So pressing your upper body up off the mat as high as feels comfortable. So as high or as low as you like. You don't have to come up too high for this one. Roll your shoulders back and exhale down. So inhale, push into your hands. So as many of these as feels good, and then just watch if you have any lower back issues. Okay, back extension. So hands by the temples and then chin down, peeling yourself up off the mat. Inhale up and exhale lower. So you want to try switch on the muscle either side of your spine here, so the erector spinae. So think about as you're peeling up, that muscle is coiling up and helping you to elevate up with that upper body. So you can add in the legs here if you want for this one. You can also bring your hands a little bit further away. So the further away your hands are, the harder it is. So choose your level with this one. So remember, just make sure that you've got the right technique at all times, and when you feel that you do, you can push it up a little bit, and then there's no pressure to do as many reps. Just do as many as feels comfortable and as many as you can keep your technique. So reaching away with the fingers, reaching behind with the toes, trying to keep the legs as straight as you can, and lift and hold for a little bit of a burner and relax down. Okay, push back up to your hands and your knees, and we'll get rid of that extension. So we'll come into a little bit of flexion, so a bit of cat-cow. So you're going to wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, round up like a cat, tuck the chin, and then the opposite. Dish the back, head and neck up, tailbone up. So for me, I like to inhale as I go up, and then exhale as I lower my back down. So doing as many of these as feels good for you. Okay, so stay in this position, and I want you to have a nice flat back. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips again, and pretend you've got a glass of wine on your back for this one. So you're going to reach out your hand, getting the wrist as high as the shoulder. Chin tuck so your neck is in line with the spine. So lengthening out through the side of the body, so your hip is in line with your shoulder, in line with your wrist. So make sure now you don't tilt up. So you've got that glass of wine in your back. You want to keep that straight line from your hip, shoulder, wrist. And in order to do this, you are using the obliques a little bit. Okay, let's pump it up a little bit. Add in the leg. So opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching out in front, reaching behind. Watch you don't wobble through the hip there, so keep those hips down. So this is where your oblique muscles come in to stabilize you. Lengthening out, and then making it a bit harder again, tucking under knee to elbow. I think I spilled some of that glass of wine. Knee to elbow. So exhale out, inhale, and exhale. That should have been exhale. Inhale and exhale. So keeping that flat back as much as you can, keeping your balance. Okay, great. Sit back on your heels, reach your arms forward, stretch out the wrists, and we are going to stay in that position. So when you're ready, we're going to pop back up to our hands and our knees, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and tuck the toes. And what I want you to do is tuck your tailbone, have your nice flat back, squeeze into your tummy, and hover the knees and lower. So hover up for a little second, squeeze the tum, and then down. So sit your weight back into your heels if your shoulders are becoming, if your shoulders are switch on, or your wrists are becoming a little bit sore. So just lifting and holding. Okay, so this time you're gonna lift, get your nice flat back, and then you're gonna extend back with your leg. Bring it back in, opposite leg, bring it back in, and down, reset. So lift, flat back, extend back, 1, 2, back in. So as much as you can, you wanna try keep that nice still back. The glass of wine is still on your back. Sit back in your heels, reach your arms forward. Relax your wrists. And then when you're ready, you're going to pop up to down dog. So you can have your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And what you're going to do then is shimmy your hands a little bit further forward and then roll forward into plank. And exhale, push back into your heels, a little bit of a breather. Try get your head and neck through your arms and then roll forward into plank. So watch that your hips don't go too low when you roll forward. Now, if you can, move your feet a little bit closer together so you're getting a little bit more of a hamstring stretch when you push back. So think about coming forward, tucking your tailbone, squeezing through your tummy. And then exhale, pushing back into a nice triangle. And then at any stage, if your wrists are becoming a little bit sore, just drop down to your knees and reset. So always go for a nice technique rather than reps in Pilates. And hold for a little finisher, a little bit of a burn, and drop to your knees, sit back in your heels, reach your arms forward. Onto your elbows in a similar idea, but now we're going to go down into our elbows. So our elbows underneath your shoulders, and then what you're going to do is bring your knees a little bit further behind, and when you pop them up, you're in the perfect plank. So popping the knees up, pushing back into your heels. So when you pop your knees up, your bum isn't too high or your bum isn't too low. You still have the glass of wine on your back. Sit back on your heels, reach your arms forward. Okay, so to finish, we'll do a little bit of side plank. So elbow underneath the shoulder, bottom knee bent, top knee straight. And then when you're ready, you're going to push up through that hip. Hold and lower. Push up. So we're really trying to switch on the obliques here. So our side, the muscles in the side of our tummy. So as we push up, you want that straight line from your armpit down to your hip. That top shoulder back. Now, if you can, go take the bend out of the bottom knee and straighten out that bottom knee. But only do this now if you can if you can push those hips up. If your hip drops down to the mat, don't do it. You want to keep that spine as straight as you can. Good. Okay, switching over to the other side. I'll do 6 reps on the other side. So elbow underneath your shoulder and then pushing up. And then again, if you're okay at this, you can straighten out with the bottom leg, but just make sure that your hips really lift up off the mat. If they don't, do the modified version, build yourself up and protect your spine. Top shoulder back. Okay guys, rolling back on the mat. We'll do a little twist just to finish with. So stack your knees, stack your hips, and then you're going to reach away with the top hand. Bring it back over, so you're just kind of flossing through this. And then we'll go to the other side. Stack the knees, stack the hips, sandwich the hands, and reaching over. Well done, guys. Great class. Any questions, send them on, and I hope to see you soon.